Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for another creative snack. Today we are going to be drawing more flowers. Flowers are actually one of the easiest things to draw if you know this simple technique. If you missed the first part, I will put a link in the description for you. That shows you the basics of this flower drawing tutorial using the simple and humble oval. This is a really simple technique. What it enables you to do is to create flowers that have depth and the element of realism. In case we haven't met before, my name is Georgie and I'm a pen, ink and collage artist, but I'm also a former productivity coach and digital wellbeing coach and trained mindfulness teacher. Think of me like a caretaker for your imagination. I am here to help you connect again with your creativity through simple drawing exercises, creative coaching and creative mindfulness exercises. All right, enough about me. Let's go over to the drawing board. Let's start with drawing an oval. Don't overthink it, and find the center. Where do you want the center to be? I'm going to go for around there. Now what I do is I'm now thinking about what direction this flower is going off into. So it's going to be going off in that direction. So I give myself a little guideline there. Remember, no straight lines, keep everything nice and fluid and use curves. We want to create life with our drawings here. So I'm creating some slightly curved lines as my guidelines. The center's around here. The first thing I do is draw a semicircle to mark the center of the flower. And then I'm going to start using lines going out like so to draw in the petals like that. And remember, always undulate your lines. It creates a much nicer, realistic looking flower. Now, the reason that this line here is useful is now I can see that the stem is going to go here, like so. Let's try that again. Let's try a much thinner oval. I may even go thinner than that as I'm drawing. All right, mark the center. Guidelines, roughly like that. Center of the flower, and I'm actually going to take this even more slightly thinner. I do get quite messy when I draw. I'll be rubbing these out afterwards, these lines. And again, we are going to fill in those petals following our guidelines like that. Let's put one like that. That's quite nice. It's going to have their stem there, and let's have one going off in this direction now. Guidelines. Doesn't matter if you do that first or you do the center first, but what I quite like about this flower now is the center point's up here. Watch what happens if we do this. Let's go for quite a thin oval there. Draw the petals in. Now these are going to be quite small, but you be able to see now that you're getting a lot more perspective. There's a greater sense of perspective and depth, and we'll put the lines in there. All right, so I'm using a fine liner pen. This is a 0.8 fine liner, and I'm gonna now go over these outlines that I've created here. Let's do this one first. So what do I want this? I'm gonna have a simple center. I'm just scribbling in, see what I'm doing there? I'm just scribbling in the center of the flower using circular motions to create some kind of texture. And I'm gonna draw that in there. Remember to use undulating lines because that's much more natural. There we are. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll add these little markers lines in there. We're not going to go too much into shading in today. I just want to show you the basics of getting flowers with depth using this simple technique of ovals, the simple, humble oval. There we go. Oh, let's not forget the stem. There we go. Then let's do this one. I'm going to use circles to fill in the centre. And what I would do when you're out on walks or sitting in the garden, whatever it is, look at flowers, look at them, study them, see how they're made up, and then get ideas for how you might use real flowers to inspire your drawn flowers. Now this was a thinner oval, wasn't it? So you're getting this sense of perspective again, almost foreshortening, like that. Lovely jubbly. Put in his stem, beautiful. So again, you know, you're seeing how these are coming to life now. Put a few lines in. Always the lines move to the centre of the flower. And I'll just put a few little lines here to give it a bit more life. Et voila. And then let's go for this one where we put the centre of the flower further up in the oval. And for this one, I'm going to do something that's quite similar to cherry blossom. Actually, it's spring after all at the moment when I'm recording this. So to do cherry blossom, you do these kind of little lines like this. You have the sort of centres coming out. Love cherry blossom. I love spring. There we go. And then we just use simple dots to shade in the blossom. I'll do a separate video on creating texture for you at some point. Watch this space, as they say. And then we're going to fill in those petals, moving towards the centre. Round it goes. That stem, let's put that up there like that. Now I'm just going to give you a little tip here, a little extra. Petals often they curl up at the ends, so you can take where these undulating lines are. If you create another line here, you can create that kind of curled end that flowers often have. I'm going to put one here as well. And then again, you're really then starting to get into things looking a lot more realistic just by using lines and shapes. Quite like these little lines here. And what I'll do in my sketchbook quite often is I will just play like this, and I will experiment with how I might shade, just using this fine liner. This is a lot thicker, this fine liner, than I would normally use. I'm normally using 0.003 for my drawings because I go really fine, but for this it's perfect. So here we have 3 different flowers created from an oval where the centre of the flower is traditionally in the middle, and we've created depth from there and had the flower going in a certain direction by tilting the oval. We've tried much thinner ovals again to get that kind of sense of foreshortening with a flower, and then we've also experimented with creating the centre of the flower higher up the oval to create again another sense of perspective. And then if you put all these flowers together in some kind of bouquet illustration, you're going to start getting some really interesting things going on that creates depth and gorgeousness and beautifulness. Voila! I've also created an easy practice sheet for you. This is one I filled in, again using the same concept. I'm going to stick that in the link on the video for you to have a look at. Have fun, enjoy drawing, it's blooming fabulous. Welcome back, how did you get on? Good, I hope. Let me know how you got on, and if you like this video, there's plenty more to check out. Have an inspired day, stay creative, and I will see you very soon. Take care, everyone.